All right, all right. Let's see. Y'all let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Is the audio good? Looks like we already have some people here in the chat. Got Miss Nova Castile, Silverback. What's happening? Black Knight Mustang. What is going on? And that's all I see so far commenting. All right. Man, what is happening? What is happening? Ant's gonna put the clock on me. Oh man. All right, so y'all let me know. Can you hear me? Is audio good? I need to make sure. Let's see. Dun, dun, dun. Trying to find something real quick. Y'all bear with me. What's going on here? And let's get ram clutches up there. Let's get that up there. Mustang Mike 256. What's up, man? 101 RTR. Mr. Jim in the house. Backwoods Garage. Man, what's going on, dude? Funky 5-0. All right, so we're only a couple minutes in, but we've got a fair amount of people in here. T. Hetzler, what is happening? Josh Odin, what's up? So real quick, I want to cover something. Okay, if you see in the chat, the channel Backwoods Garage. So he found me the other day and sent me a message through Facebook. And y'all know a while back I sold Coyote Ugly, and he is actually the one that has the car now. So it's changed hands a few times, but he now has the car. Can't call it Coyote Ugly anymore because it's got a 408 Windsor in it. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's a 408 Windsor in there and a manual transmission. So y'all get some of that. That car is moving and it is pulling some serious wheelies. So, man, if you guys want to check out what's going on with that car, the old Coyote Ugly, go and subscribe to Backwoods Garage. Check him out, man. He just started his channel, and I told him come in here. I give him a shout out and let everybody check out the car because I know some of you kind of wonder what's going on with it, what's been happening with it. So, man, he's got quite a few videos up, and I got through two of them, so far, but I want to watch all of them so that so I can keep track of what's going on with the car. But yeah, it's pretty cool, man, to see that car still racing and I mean pulling some serious wheelies. And it's a manual. I mean, you can't beat that. You can't beat that at all. That's awesome. Stang Giant, what's up, dude? So yeah, y'all go check them out for real, man. It that car is moving. I like it. Manual. Hashtag save the manuals. So yeah, I wanted to get that out of the way first. We got 18 people in here that I see, so hopefully that's enough. But yeah, Backwoods, just chime in with the chat, socialize, so to speak. Yeah, man, no problem. We kind of talk about anything and everything in here. Tonight's a little different, so we'll get into. We might as well just roll into that. So tonight, as you can see, the title, we're going to get down to the nitty gritty with Determined Veteran. As you saw, hopefully on the thumbnail, if I did that correctly, we're going to expose him a little bit tonight. I've known Jack for a couple years now, and he is doing big things with his channel. And I really support what he is doing and support his efforts. So I wanted him to come in here and kind of, break it down because I'm not sure if he has done that yet. I don't remember seeing any kind of video where he's really broken down into what makes Determined Veteran, what's it all about, why he's doing it, all kind of stuff. So yeah, I figured I would have him on here and we could get into all that. Plus he had a little Karen incident not too long ago. And yeah. it was kind of a crazy situation. I'll let him explain it. We'll get into that as well, but I do want to cover that. So yeah, stupid fast trucks. Looks like the front wheel is about 4 feet off the ground. Yes, sir. That thing is leaving now. Seriously. So let me work on getting Determined Veteran in here. Y'all bear with me. I'm not used to having guests on the channel. As you guys know, most of you know. So yeah, that Karen, man, that Karen's something else. So all right, bear with me, guys. Let me see if I can get this done here. Hopefully this doesn't cut me off. All right, so hopefully I'm still live here. So yeah, like I was saying, I want to bring him in here so he can kind of give you guys a better idea. I don't know if he's really had a chance to, like I said, go deeper into what he's doing and why he's doing it and all that stuff. So I really wanted to have him on here. Black Knight Mustang, very much appreciated. $5 super chat, man. And that leads me into another thing. And I'm glad you sent that super chat, because all proceeds from the super chats in tonight's stream are going to go to the charity of Determined Veterans Choice. So if you'd like to donate, feel free to send a super chat. But I will say YouTube will get their cut from super chats. So keep that in mind. And if you want to kind of cut YouTube out of it, there is a link in the description for my PayPal if you'd like to send it to me, PayPal, and I will make sure it gets to the charity. I'm going to sum it all up. It'll probably take about a month, once the super chats actually pay out. I will either do a live stream or I'll do a video or something like that, so you guys can see, exactly where it's going and what's going on. So yeah, so anything donated tonight will go to a charity of Determined Veterans Choice. So bear with me. Underfed Coyote, man, I appreciate it, dude. 1999. That is awesome, man. You guys are the best, man. We're just guys, man. Honestly, just guys trying to do the right thing, trying to do our best on this platform, and do what we can do for veterans. Like, I'm trying to support Jack and what he's doing. So without further ado, let's bring in Mr. Determined Veteran, and we can get into some questions.
Hey, so, there I am, buddy.
Veteran, what is going on, man?
And I am making it. And if I wasn't, nobody cared, because they don't want to hear me complain anyway. But
but we love the sound of your voice, though.
I have to say my own too, man. I'm an advocate that Jack Harrell Playground III is like one of the greatest people ever touched this planet. No, I'm very humbled by tonight. What I hope to accomplish by our round of questioning, and I hope you don't beat me up too much, is I really think a lot of people don't understand why I do what I do. And so we've been talking, for years, along with some of these people out in the audience, about why I do what I do, but the whole situation behind the channel and why I do the channel, like, first off, I'll just be honest, it's an excellent tax write-off, right? So my channel's monetized. Every vehicle, everything we do on the channel, we put under the LLC, and we write that off in our taxes, right? So let me be honest. A lot of us voted for politicians who do the same thing. So why people hate on me when I say I do it? I have no idea, but at least I'm honest. Second thing is, yes, 100% of all the proceeds that we make here on Determined Veteran, or on my channel, Determined Veteran, we give back to nonprofit veteran organizations, because all too often the VA fails us. And I also want to say this, that I am not Determined Veteran. I am Jack Cleghorn. Determined Veteran is my brand, but it is all of our brand who has worn that uniform, and they are honorably discharged or they are part of Gold Star families. So let me be clear, like, Jeremy, your brand is Pony 1992.
Right.
I do not have a brand other than I am the guy behind the camera. My wife is the business manager behind Determined Veteran. So we all are Determined Veterans.
Right. And to that point, you know, you and I have kind of used the term or whatever. And I know you kind of started using the term or coining the phrase of, DV Army. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what it's about. Your channel isn't about you. It's about what you're doing, what the channel can do. And, for veterans and those that really that need it, so. And I did state to everybody, I don't mean to cut you off, but did tell everybody all the super chats, all donations tonight will go to the charity of your choice. You can tell us now, or you can wait and tell me later, however you want to do it. But yeah, so
I'm a proponent for 22kill.com. Like, they offer,
I figured it'd be that.
free mental health services for any veteran, combat related or not. Sometimes we have veterans who were not honorably discharged because they had some self-inflicted wounds, but they still need to receive help, and they're not able to do it through the VA. So, let me start by saying this. Let me get this out of the way so everybody understands. Because I know you're gonna have some questions. I guess go ahead. Let's start with the round of questioning, and we're kind of work our way from there, Jeremy. But I really appreciate you bringing me on the program tonight. It is very humbling to see what my channel's been doing in the last couple of weeks, all because of one situation, which I've taken a lot of flack for, right? I had somebody on Instagram. Yeah. I guess he wants his 15 minutes of fame, and I ain't gonna lie to him. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. He makes me laugh, and I just blocked him. I don't have any time for any BS. I'm a very busy man. I got my dog. I got my son in South Korea. I got my wife, that freaking puts up with all my hijinks, and, my friends that I call, like Jeremy, when I'm having an emotional breakdown and almost tearing up because I'm so fucking mad about shit. And sorry, I use F-bombs. This is Jack. So that
can lead us into the first question. So, you stated it briefly a little bit ago that, you are not Determined Veteran.
No.
Like, you are Jack. So, without going too much into detail about Jack, maybe a little bit about yourself that kind of leads us into, why you started Determined Veteran and what it's all about. You know what I mean? And shout out to Josh Oden, $50 super chat, dude. That's awesome.
Josh, I appreciate that, man. So real quick, Determined Veteran was actually spawned in the late 60s. So my father, Jack Harold Cleghorn Jr., now retired CW2 Cleghorn, was drafted into the United States Army. He had no education, no nothing, and they brought him in. His draft number was number 7, so he decided to enlist so he could pick his job and not be a mortarman or an infantryman. So that's actually where Determined Veteran spawned, was when my father left home. So my father moved away from home at 13 because him and my grandfather didn't get along, right? Very similar story to how DV here in person was with OG DV. So my grandfather was a drunk and a degenerate gambler, and he moved the family from South Bend, where Stupid Fast Truck lives, and I have a brother buried up there, and I have an entire family plot. I've got service, family members who served in the military all the way back to like my great-great-grandfather, who was George Harold Cleghorn. So my father was medically retired for a stroke. So his first stroke, they took him out of ODA units and put him in operational units, which basically he went from long tab special forces, operator down to unit level, because he wasn't medically able to make all the physicals like for Ranger, being Ranger qualified, airborne qualified, special forces. My father was my hero when I grew up. I was born at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. My father would jump out of airplanes, right? So that's where old this guy behind the camera now, like I jumped out of my crib at like 8 months old and broke my collarbone.
That doesn't surprise me.
No. So my parents rushed me to the ER at Womack Army Hospital there at beautiful Fort Bragg, North Carolina, home of the 82nd Airborne Division. And my parents proclaimed that my dumb ass jumped out of the crib and they didn't throw me. Now, I still tell my parents to this day that they're liars and they refuse to let me in on the secret. But as it stands, my parents, they raised me in a Catholic home. I have a little brother that was born in '83 that was a preemie that when we were stationed in Germany, he died. And I couldn't even imagine the pain that my parents went through burying their child. I couldn't even imagine that pain.
Right.
And so anyway, going back to my father in the early 90s, when he was medically retired, back then it took him 5 years to get his VA benefits, even though he was medically retired. Right. And so I saw my father struggle with issues. I saw my father struggle with alcohol. And to this day, I'm an addict myself. Everyone who really knows me knows that I am an alcoholic. I can't just have one drink. I've dabbled in drugs and alcohol most of my life, other than being in the military and going on a long weekend. I'd probably do some powder, but I'm an addict. And I joke with it and I use it to my, like a lot of people when they meet me and I tell them and they see me drink or whatever, and I'm not trying to propose it, but what I'm saying is I am an addict. And my friends have seen me flat out drunk, high. I've talked to Jeremy more times under the influence than probably any other friend he's ever had in his life. But you know, Determined Veteran was born because when I was a child growing up, I saw my father with his own struggles. So flash forward to my military service, and you know, I'm just an idiot who makes dumb internet videos now, right? So I have my flaws and I have my own thing. So when I was medically retired for injuries from Afghanistan, I was part of the IDES program, which is the Integrated Disability Evaluation System. I really feel like they took really good care of me. But you know, it did leave me lost for a long time. And so no shit, like I was an MC most of my life. And when I got out of the military, I was in a real MC, like not a mom and pop club. I wore my Texas bottom rocker, my Diamond 13 with pride. I'm a loner by nature. I'm very short and to the point. A lot of people who reach out to me sometimes confuse me with someone trying to be a freaking celebrity, because I'm not. I'm solely here for the channel to raise money. I've always liked YouTube. I've always wanted to get back to the platform, which I have now. But I've always said that I do this for the charities and everything else. A lot of people.
That's not your. I'm sorry. Your mission is not to bring attention to you.
No,
it's to bring attention to the issues that veterans are having, the struggles they're having, and you know, different outlets that we can use through you to help them out.
Yes, and that's where like a lot of people. Okay, my friends, I probably have 5 of you on my hand. Like I really don't have a lot of friends, and I keep it that way. But sometimes when people reach out and they want to be the character I play on YouTube, I try my best to navigate it. But because of who I am and how I am, sometimes it gets really confused. You know what I mean? And a lot of times people watch you, and like that's like probably the worst thing to say as a YouTuber is like, hey, I don't want you to be friends. Because it's but I'm not saying that I couldn't be friends with somebody, but at the same time, the people that I do consider friends aren't like trying to be my #1 fan either. You know what I mean? Like I'm a very straight to the point, no bullshit type of guy, right? A couple weeks ago, I sent somebody who did a video who actually gave a gift to another veteran. I bought him coffee. Now, I did tell him not to mention me, but he went ahead and did it. I can't stop people from doing that. But the point is that I don't do things because I want a bunch of exposure for it, right? Now, with that being stated, I do YouTube videos, right? I want views just like everybody else, and I use my views to go back into charitable things, nonprofits. But But yeah, that's kind of who I am. That's me being honest with everybody out there watching this or going to replay this or whatever, because I just feel like a lot of people on YouTube bedazzle people with bullshit. And it's all,
Yeah, and
it's
this
all,
is one of the reasons I wanted to bring you on here is because I've seen you struggle with it. You know,
yeah.
you'll text me or call me and be like, just like, man, just listen to me and let me get this out, because it's, you're not trying to be something you're not, but at the
No.
same time, you're trying to make a difference. And man, I'm telling you, it's tough. I see it. I see you struggling. So like I said, that's why I wanted to have you on to kind of, I don't know, maybe get it out there so people have a little bit better understanding of what's going on and, what you're trying to do.
There was a dude, like, there was a couple cats that like accused me of being like this troll. Like they act like I have all this time like spend on their live streams. And to be honest, I don't. Like, I just moved from Texas to Pennsylvania. I've had to live in hotels for 2.5 months, tow my car, freaking unpack everything, remodel a house, get things set up, make sure that my wife is taken care of, make sure my son is taken care of, my 70-year-old father back in Texas that he's good to go and he's taken care of, my 90-year-old grandmother, right? Because I am a family person. Like, to me, family's everything. I love my family with all my heart and soul, right? Even sometimes when they let me down, guess what? They were just doing the best they can. Just like for my son, I let him down a lot, but I do the best I can to be the best father and mentor and not turn him into a freaking snowflake. So, is Determined Veteran or is Jack Cleghorn like trolling people and all this other stuff? No. I could honestly, guys, because I'm honest, I could care two shits about what goes on in somebody else's life.
I know for several months you were like down from YouTube. I mean, you couldn't even upload a video, let alone watch videos, because the internet sucks so bad at the hotel.
Yeah. And that was the thing, like, when someone sent me a text saying, "Hey, are you this person?" I'm like, "The F are you talking about, dude? Like, I'm in the middle of a PCS. Like, you think that, like, you think you're that special? Like," and I don't mean to sound mean or cruel or freaking, woke, or I don't know. The snowflakes have so many terms for I get confused. You know what I mean? But the point is that if you've never been in a PCS and you've never had to move from, out of state, cross country, from overseas, then you really probably shouldn't even talk to me, because you'll never understand what we still do. Like, to this day, I mean, we've been in this house now for what, 3 months, and we're still unboxing things. We're still doing it. You know what I mean? I'm now getting more time. Hey, how you doing, ma'am? I'm trying to be quiet. Oh, that's fine. Can I get my vodka and 7-Up drink? Mix it out here. Ah, perfect. We were just talking about me being an addict. So, perfect. Thank you, sweetheart.
Oh, Dad, you're on the big screen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm here, but then I'm watching it back there.
Hi, Pony.
Hey, what's going on?
Not much.
He's actually here.
Oh, I'm lost.
That's the projector. That's the 10-foot screen. And this is Jeremy. And everybody out in the audience.
There you are.
So, thank you. Yeah, thank you. And I appreciate you picking up the cherry vodka. Gotcha. Did you get any maraschino cherries by chance?
Dang it.
Get the hell out of here and go get it. Damn it. But anyway, thank you, sweetheart. I love you. She is my wife is my number one person in my life. Like, she loves who I am. She speaks my language. When I freak out and want to grab my pistol when we're out in public, she's there to say, common sense and good judgment. Yep. So, but yeah, I mean, the YouTube experience, I've met some really, really cool cats along the way. But then I met some real schmucks too. And the good old boys have definitely outweighed the schmucks. But at the end of the day, I don't want anybody to take offense at, like, they reach out or we talk and maybe I ruffle their feathers at all. Like, I'm a very much like in the moment type of person. And then once I'm done, like, I'm done with the conversation. Like, I don't gossip like a schoolgirl, and I don't call my buddies and go, "Oh, did you hear?" No, I never do that. Like, to me, that's just not being a man at all.
I don't know if you can you see the comment that I just tagged on there?
Which one is that, Bubba?
I put it up on the screen. So basically, MJI is saying that he doesn't know determined veteran, but I appreciate his honesty. Definitely an underappreciated quality more people should seek after. So I think that's awesome that he wrote that. So that's really cool.
I'm going to say I appreciate the comment, but at the same time, it really sucks that we have to make that statement in life. That all too often people lie through their freaking teeth and bedazzle us with bullshit. And just like straight, like you never know what they're going to say. They're like a salesman, right? But with me, and even when you're pissed off at me, you know that I'm going to speak the truth every single time. And I will not apologize for being a man and being straight up. Now, some of my buddies have yelled at me because I have maybe not said the appropriate thing in that situation that needed to be said, but then 3-4 months later, we're like, I get why you said it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, we were even talking about it earlier with the thumbnail,
Yeah,
we weren't, but it's, I sent, or I kind of ran something across you and you were like, no, I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate that, because why would I want to have somebody say, oh man, that's great, and then put it up in this crap, And huge shout out to Pink's Garage, man. $200 super chat. I can't believe it. That is awesome. That is going, once YouTube gets their cut, unfortunately they do, but the rest is going to 22 kills. That is awesome.
No, that's awesome. 45% of it we just made. YouTube's going to freaking love the stream tonight. Like,
yeah, they are.
Snowflakes. But yeah, man, determined veteran is a character that I use, and I try to do good for the world. Like, I try to do well for a veteran population, but sometimes I'm misunderstood, and that's all part of it. Like, you can't, like, I hate live streams. I hate having a video that does well. Like, I'd rather have videos that do 10 views than 2,000, 4,000, 10,000, 55,000. Like, it's a mind F, man. And like, you get so many people that see one particular video of an 11-minute snapshot, and then people say shit like, well, all you're doing is chasing views. Yeah.
Are we all?
Are we all? Or, like, here's a famous one. Well, you're crying about issues from that girl doing her job, right? And I'm like, what's your point? Like, what is your point? Like, why wouldn't I take that opportunity when I got a freaking camera to post something that's going to freaking blow up my channel, which in the inverse blows up every other video, and then we get to give that back at the end of the year to a nonprofit organization.
Right. So let's talk about, since we kind of rolled into the Karen situation, let's talk about that, because
I didn't roll on her. She's one of them little skinny broads that probably hurt my little pee-pee if I did roll into it, And she's way too young, too, from what I understand. She's like 18. She's old enough to be my daughter. And if that was my daughter, I probably would smack the shit out of her because she's so damn disrespectful and a liar. But whatever. What can I say? Go ahead. Go back to Karen.
But yeah, so, there's always, all the time when you see a video online or Facebook, YouTube, whatever, there's always something that happened before. There's always something happened after. We only see what we see. So, that's another thing I wanted to talk about, to give you the opportunity to give the whole story, so to speak.
And so, just to clarify, when you see the video when you see the whole 11-minute clip, it's me F-bombing and just being mad, right? And having my little therapy appointment. And then it rolls into the footage at the VA. Literally, that was not cropped. The video started that way and ended that way. And that's just what Angelita filmed at that time. So I have had 3 community care appointments for the dental clinic for the last 1.5 years. Now, it's not so much the VA's fault that we PCS in between. Right. So when I got to Allentown, they assigned me to the Wilkes-Barre VA Center, which is like 1.5 hours away. Why they did that, I have no effing idea, but that's just the way it happened, right? So I'm trying to get to my appointment. I brain dumped that they have to ask you COVID questions. I was just trying to get to my appointment because we were running late. And I didn't want to be a no-show. And when you no-show at the VA, they can actually use that against you to take your benefits away from you. I digress, though. So I heard a bunch of like sirs, and I just assumed it was everybody else. But then I heard Jack. And so I turned around and Angie said, "Hey, come here, honey." So I walked up to the two screeners and I said, "Look, my bad. I freaking blew right past you. And I didn't mean to disrespect you. My bad." And they said, "Why are you here?" I said, "For an appointment." And I paused with an inflection. So usually what happens is when they have an appointment, what they'll do is they'll say, "Well, do you know where you're going? And how can we help you?" And then start the COVID screening. So what they did in my case was they said, "Okay, when's your appointment?" I said, like in a half hour, actually it was like 20 minutes. I said in like 20 minutes, and it's upstairs on the 8th floor, and I got to get going. And they said, "Can you prove it?" And I said, I was kind of taken back by it, but I said, "Look, usually I would get a printout and mail to me, but I'm new in the area and I haven't gotten that yet. I have a text message showing where I have traffic from the VA." And I
VA is perfect with their mailings. Trust me. You get every single one.
Yeah.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
I don't know what kind of line of bullshit you're trying to sell on that one.
That's a lot of bullshit.
It's talking more shit than Japanese radio.
Yeah.
But so anyway, so I looked at her, and there was a Hispanic gal and then the little white Karen. And I said, "Look, this is really none of your business." Paused again so they could start. "Have you been out of the country in 14 days? Do you have a fever? Here's your temperature." They did none of that. And I don't know if that video displayed that, because really it was, we filmed it. We went to the dental clinic and they all laughed at the situation. And then Angie and I drove home, and for an hour and a half, and I was like, "Did I F up? Like, did I do something wrong?" And Angie's like, "No, they were in the wrong." So you see the video the way it was. The little girl says, "I'll call the cops on you," after her cohort said, "Hey, look, you're right. You don't need to show it to us." She paused to start the COVID screen, and her friend's like, "I'll call the cops." I'm like, I'm an outlaw, man. Like, go for it. I live for this shit, man. Like, go for it. I'm a YouTuber. Make my effing day. Like, this is going to be great. And so you guys saw the interaction, you saw the video, and literally, right after we got done with the altercation, the cops were like, "Are you good, man?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm freaking awesome." They're like, "What are you gonna do with that video?" "I'm gonna put it on my YouTube site." And he's like, "You got a YouTube site?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, I do." And so he's like, "Dude, that's gonna be awesome." I'm like, "Fuck yeah, it is." So, and now almost 51,000, 55,000 views later, and over the last week and a half, I've had over 150,000 hits to my YouTube site.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's great. But you get the comments like, "You're a drama queen," or "You're making this up," or "You keep all the money." You get all these things, and you got like a segment of people that like see it for what it was, and it says, "Look, it was BS, and God bless your family." And I'm like, "Hey, God bless your family too, and thank you so much." And it is what it is, it's like, I've taken a lot of shit for it, but a lot of people have something like devastating happen on their channel, and then all of a sudden they blow up.
Yeah.
Right? And I've been saying for the last year, like, I wanted to get out of the car content game, right? Like, I enjoy it. I enjoy motorcycles, but I want to kind of go flip to like more trendy topics. And I, like I said, I'm unapologetic for it. Like, tomorrow, if you're a channel member, you already know what the video I'm putting out tomorrow is, and it's not about car shit. And that's the direction I'm going, because I have tried this game for the last 2.5 weeks or 2.5 years. I've showed up to the plate. I've swung the bat. I've done the best videos I could. I've shared them as much as I could. My buddies shared them as much as they could. And guess what? They just never got traction, right? Because everybody's in the car niche game, right? Everybody's in the car niche game. So I, in return, am I just using the influx of traffic to my channel and doing more videos, really what Jack wants to do, right?
Right. Yep.
You know, I tried doing the car game last year. That sponsorship was like, it destroyed my channel, you know? It just, and I don't want to get into it because the dude just makes me so mad. I just, I'll put on my Republican hat. I pray for his family, and I pray that Jesus comes in his life, and yada 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 yada. Right? Like, I mean, he's not even worth talking about. But it really did put a stamper on my channel. You know.
Yeah.
So, all right, go ahead. Ask your next question because I get long with it.
Well, yeah. Let's get into basically elaborating on what we've been talking about. So the Karen situation, since we've been talking about that, how has that affected what you're trying to do, your mission statement? Has that helped? Has that kind of hindered? I mean, what do you think?
Well, I'd be remiss to say that influx of traffic that I didn't monetize, by the way.
Right.
I did not monetize that video, by the way. And
you stated that in that video.
I should have used less F-bombs. I should have. It would have made me a lot of money. But no, I didn't. I didn't do it. And I say make me a lot of money, make the channel money. We donate whatever. Right. I think that it's brought awareness to what I do. It's up to the individual who watched that video if they agree on how I handle it or if they agree why I'm doing what I'm doing, right? We live in a world of cynics and liars and deceitfulness. We just said earlier, like, it's like weird to find someone who's like is honest. Like, all too often you see somebody on the TV, you see somebody on YouTube, and all they're doing is bedazzling you with bullshit. Yeah. Let's see. Determined veteran, was working hard for subs when I met him. I wouldn't say I was working hard for subs. I've never worked hard for subs. I don't know. I don't understand why you would say that. Like, that's I think you're trying to be sweet and a nice comment, but I've never worked hard for subs. I'm not a salesman, and I'm not there. You know, I was at a car event. I showed everybody respect, just like when I wore a patch on my back and I went to an event. Everybody who came to the event from my chapter, I would always go to them, whether they were a bandito or just a mom and pop club. I'd go out there, shake their hand, and say thanks for coming to our event. Because
I think basically what he's getting at is, you're out there, you're trying to make a difference. You're trying to grow the channel.
Yeah. But I just want to clarify. I'm not a salesman. I don't work hard for nothing. I am who I am, and I just, I hopefully, like I said, I know the way I look at life is a little bit different than what most people, and I appreciate him saying that. But I don't want someone to read this afterwards and think, oh yeah, well, he's a salesman. No, I'm not a salesman, and I don't care if you subscribe or not. If you're a good person, you're genuine, and you can look me in the eye when you shake my hand, and you shake my hand like a man or a mature individual, and you are forthright and you say you're righteous about your approach with me, then you'll never have a problem with me. If you're braggadocious or I think that you're not humbled, I will humble the fuck out of you. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. I'm a sheepdog. I do not, as a sheepdog, my job is to protect. And you got wolves in sheep's clothing. You got predators out there, and they mean to do you harm. My job as a sheepdog is to protect. So, yeah.
Cars and Cues with Mike brought up a pretty good question. I think that's one of the ones I was going to ask is there any follow-up to Karen herself? Do you know anything? I know you talked to the advocate, right? So
yeah.
After that video, has anything else happened? Or
I'd rather not say. Because I've said everything I wanted to on my channel about her and gave her and her friends and the BS VA crap. 20 minutes of fame, that's all they're going to get out of me.
Gotcha.
I will say that I have not, since I talked to the advocate that you guys saw that video, I have not done anything about it. I've had this thing called life and trying to have a good time and go really fast and street race and have all the fun I'm having here in Allentown. Like, that's more my priority than, you know, Karen now. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I did a video like for my channel members, and I said, have I whipped this dog enough? Like, you know what I mean? Like, to me, it is what it is. But no, I have not, since I did the video and talked to Abga, I've not called anybody at the VA about anything that deals with Miss Karen. I just hope in the video that she's retrained and that she's counseled and understands how bad of the situation that was. But with every situation, there's there's three sides, right? His side, her side, or his side, and the truth. And I just hope that I gave enough when I told the story, that I gave enough interpretation of the truth that what's happened. Hence why I had Angie film the altercation with the police. Right. Keep everybody honest, because the camera don't lie.
Right. So since we've gotten through all that, so now, you know, I think that video was really good for your channel, and I think it's given it a boost that it needed. But so now, you know, what's the future going to be like now? Like, what are your goals? What is your mission? Has it changed? Has it evolved, so to speak?
So I would be remiss to say that sometimes when, you know, I'm writing a big check at the end of the year for all the money I do make on the channel, that don't hurt my pocketbooks a little bit, and that I would love to be selfish in the fact that I'd like to keep some of this money, but then at the same time, I would do the same things I'm doing. I would do off camera, so it makes no sense to me whatsoever, right? But I would say that it's taught me to be more than a one-sided channel who continues to do car content. When there's channels like Street Speed, Women Driven, there's like, and I'm just saying, like, there's really large channels that are in this niche, and there ain't no effing way in hell I'm ever going to compete with them on what I try to do with, you know, a couple thousand views. Now, I will say this, that people that watch my channel, they're going to see a difference in film style and making, and a lot more of determined veteran doing things like the character that I am on YouTube. And some videos you guys are going to say, I don't understand why he did this. And I'm going to give you a hint. I'm chasing a viral video is what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. I'm chasing topics that are trending, and I'm going to grow my channel based upon that. And that's the God honest truth. I'm not going to sit here and lie and sugarcoat a freaking, you know, it's like, I'm tired of swinging the bat and getting 200 views. I'm tired of the long nights and working on crap and coming up with ideas and, you know, trying to, you know, do this, because I'm not going to street race on camera, and I'm not going to do things that are going to compromise my moral compass. So I'm going to chase viral trending topics. Like, that's just what I'm going to do. And if I lose, you know, an audience of people, you know, like I said, man, I've been playing this game long enough to go, like, most of us that are watching this chat all have YouTube channels themselves. And so it's a vicious cycle of, like, you watch my videos, I watch your videos, and da-da-da-da-da-da. And it loses the appeal of being genuine. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to use the influx of the Karen video in order to grow a new little cell of determined veteran army and take off from there. And that's what I'm trying to do. And if anybody has a problem with that, then you're not being honest with yourself. I'm at least telling you the truth, that I'm going to use it to my advantage. And at the end of the year, when we can write a check to 22kill.com for $10,000, $15,000, guess what? It'll all be in good faith. And that's my goal. My goal is not $2,000. My goal for the last 2 years has always been $10,000 to 22kill.com from Determined Veteran LLC. I don't know. Does that answer your question, bro?
Yes, it does. Let me make sure that we've covered everything, because let's see.
And I want to thank everybody who's come into the live stream. And I want to thank everyone who's actually, like, your generosity and what you're doing is great, you know, and we want to see that trend continue. But just understand at the end of the day, as cool as I might seem on camera right now, your heroes will always let you down. And please don't take me, maybe I don't have a conversation with you, or a lot of people reach out to me, whatever the case may be. Don't take that as I don't give a flying F about you. I just don't give a flying F about a lot of things in life. And I prioritize my life. And the number one is my family. And taking care of my old lady, and taking care of my son, and taking care of my father, and taking care of my grandmother who just turned 90. You know, there's a lot of, and my dog who saved my life, no shit, 3 times. 3 times I was ready to suck on a shotgun or my pistol, and my dog was there to save my life. So, you know, when people, you know, act like, I don't know, like I'm cool with everybody, but just understand, like some days, some of y'all reach out to me, I'm not feeling it that day. And don't get me wrong, I mean, I talk to Jeremy or Ken or Alex or whatever, you know, for freaking weeks, months at a time. I'm not mad at them. I'm just dealing with my own shit and trying to be responsible in my own grid space.
Yeah, and you know that's kind of I guess the advantage, so to speak, that I've had, that Ken has had, Alex. You know, we've gotten to know you, and we know Jack. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We know the man behind Determined Veteran. So, you know, it's easier for us to say, you know, I'm gonna let him be. He'll text me or call me when he's ready. So, you know, and that was one of the purposes of this live stream, was to let people understand, you know, that you're doing the best that you can to give back, but at the same time, you're still going through struggles. So, you know, what I would say that everybody that's still in the stream, anybody that watches the replay, give the guy some slack. You know, I mean, honestly, just, you know, if he doesn't answer you, you don't get the answer that you think you should have gotten, you know.
Yeah, I just celebrated
maybe just
two anniversaries of celebrations of life for brothers we lost, right? So within the last month and a half. And so, like you said, like when people, like, I have first world problems. Okay, I'm not going to sit on the pulpit and say, "Oh my God, every day is horrible for me, and I want you to feel sorry for me." No, fuck that. I don't want you to do all that. I just want you to understand that some of us sheepdogs have to deal with the consequences of what we've done. You know, I've had soldiers that have tried to take their own life. I still talk to them on a freaking weekly basis, just a temperature check with them. Old soldiers, old leaders, you know, like people that I still consider in the pool. And they don't even watch me on YouTube. As a matter of fact, a lot of them say they can't believe I'm doing it, you know, because they understand what kind of person I am. And they always go, well, that's just a character you play. And I go, yeah, you're right. It is a character I play. I might get shit for it after this live stream, I may not, but I'd much rather say this, like, you much rather know the devil you're dancing with than the devil you don't know.
Right. But like you've always said, you know, at least you're being honest, you know.
Yes.
And that was one of your purposes of coming here, to be honest about it and say, you know, I'm trying to give back to my brothers and sisters, but at the same time, I'm struggling, and this is who I am. You know, love it or leave it. This is who I am. This is how I'm going to be. And it's because I understand, and I've seen you get frustrated with, you know, some people want you to be the person that you're not. And I think it's really cool for you to come. Honestly, it's really cool and very respectful to people to come on here and explain the situation, you know. So I hope that everybody can see that and respect that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, man, I mean, I get it. Sometimes the character I play on YouTube is like happy-go-lucky, and every day's a holiday and everything else. And I'm not saying that Jack doesn't have some of those same attributes. You know what I mean? Like, I remember showing up to your house after 2018? Was it 2018 or was it? I can't remember. Was it 2018, 2019? Whatever Mustang week it was.
Right.
I literally show up there, and you and Ken pick me up from the airport. You got cameras in hand. I'm like, well, I guess it's time for me to be on point. And I'm like, can we go to the beer store and get a bunch of fucking beer? And literally, we bought 3 cases of beer that night. and I think I had a case there. And then everybody wanted to like go to these events and like wake up early, and I'm like, screw that, let's drink and like, it was a blast. Like I had a freaking blast. And then I think there was an event last year or something like that. I really wanted to go, but the car was jacked up, and I just decided I had to cut sling load. Like, hey man, I've got too much stuff on my plate with this PCS, and that's where we left it, you know. But I do enjoy getting out, and I do enjoy meeting people, like, but one-on-one. I feel like one-on-one is more genuine than when it's like a crowd of people, because you bounce around and you just try to show respect to every person who's come to that event and may or may not want to talk to you. And for me, like I said, I've met so many people, but it's under the guise like you know, people might take offense that they have their own YouTube channel, right? And they're trying to sell their brand, and they're trying to be whatever next, you know, Pony 1992 or whatever, right? Where I'm just like, okay, cool. I do this for charity. Good to see you. And I just go like, okay, it's actually a turn off. And I say that when I meet somebody who oversells themselves. Like, to me, it's like, what are you lying about? And what are you trying to bedazzle me with? And I'm like, okay, I'm done, you know? But there's some guys out there that I've met in this industry that are like yourself, like super, like get the shirt off their fucking back for you. You know what I mean? I mean, poor Ken works at the dealership. He turns rims on his own. He answers everyone's text. He's everyone's general mechanic, and God bless him for doing that. Alex, same way, man. Like, and I use those because I talk with these guys. But honestly, I don't see how y'all have the fucking energy to be on point all the freaking time for all these different people. Like, it just blows my mind, and it's something that I inspire to look after and try to emulate. But at the end of the day, as much as I try to emulate it, I know that I will never duplicate it. And I'd much rather be me than try to be y'all.
Right. Oh yeah. And it's, you know, I can't speak for Ken and Alex, you know, and I'm not comparing myself to them, but I see what you're saying. And, you know, like Ken, I don't understand how he has not had a breakdown. Like, how is he not just completely exhausted?
Mountain Dew and pizza and Ford.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there are days when, you know, I set my phone down and I'm like, I'm not even looking at it. I'm going to sit here and watch TV or whatever, you know, and just relax. I mean, I have to, you know.
I've tried that, man, but you know, when you have soldiers call you and you know, a son that calls you, or so many people want mentorship or whatever, right? Like there's still people out in the formation that call me, and we'll talk about various topics. You know, this latest thing is the sensitivity woke training that the DOD has mandated, and that comes from freaking chief of staff, you know. I'm not saying General Lloyd's a bad person, but he damn sure is getting. I'll put it this way: that the current administration, I think, is doing the best they can, right? But they're way too sensitive, and they're trying to make my force like really sensitive. And the other day, I listened to the sensitivity training for 3 hours while my wife was on her computer taking this training. And my son called me about it because he had to do it in his formations. And then my old soldiers that are now leaders or senior leaders, or my officer counterparts, all call me to say, hey, Jack, boy, you're glad you're not in the Army anymore. And I go, sometimes I wish I was, you know, because that was my identity. You know, when you do something for 18 and a half years and you inspire to greatness and you live your Army values and you are that. I was Sergeant First Class Claiborne. There was no doubt in anyone's mind I was Sergeant First Class Claiborne. Now, I really don't know who I am anymore. I know I'm Jack, and I know I try to balance everything with the YouTube and the soldiers and my friends, and going to make sure I do all my counseling appointments. I make sure I do all my check-ins for, you know, the brothers that we've lost. And like, I mean, I'll be truthful. So when I was at Pony's house a couple years ago, Alvin, Sergeant First Class Boatwright, is buried in, I think, like an hour and a half from Jeremy's house. And so we kind of talked about, like, you know, taking me there. And I think the morning that we were going to go there, I had to freak out, like, I can't go. I can't go. And it's not that, I mean, I used the timeline as an excuse not to go. I just didn't honestly want people who barely fucking know me to see me ball up and cry.
Right.
You know, Alvin was a good dude. Alvin was a good dude, man. Alvin was a dude, black guy from South Carolina who was definitely into GM. Like, he had, he was a good dude. And him and I played pool together, and we drank a bunch of beer together, and we rode motorcycles together. When he died back in 2011, it killed me. It took a little bit of my soul with me, man. So when I went to Mustang Week that year, and I saw how cool the S550s was, and they are, but I saw how people with S550s on their channels were like blowing up. And I did the charity event for 22kill.com in that October for my birthday. We raised like $1,000, right? I never thought that anything that I would do would be right. There's so much, I've done so much wrong. And so I said, if we get 1,000 subscribers, I'll buy a Mustang. So I did.
Yep.
And then I saw where everybody was twin turbo in their Mustangs and how their channels were blowing up. And I said, I'm going to twin turbo my Mustang. And I did it for views. I was trying to do it for the right reasons. It didn't really work out that way. I guess now it's starting to work out, but anything I've ever done on YouTube is just to attract more of your attention. So,
but that's all. You're going to look back at it one day, I think, and it's, that's going to be a part of the journey, right? So that needed to happen here so you could get here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fucking A.
So,
fucking A.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, man, a twin turbo manual car is about as close to orgasms that you could ever freaking have, dude.
I hear you.
What
I've yet to drive one, so.
Yeah, if you ever come to Allentown and use my electricity and drink my beer and drink coffee, you might be able to do it. So I have a question for you.
Uh-oh, I'm not prepared. Hold up.
I have often told you that the coolest thing you've done on your channel is build that Nova for Candy. That, like, if you're a car person and you don't see the love that Jeremy's putting into his Nova for his old lady, then you're really not a car person. So I ask you like this. When y'all went on your first date, whose car did you drive in? And what was the car that you and Candace drove on your first date?
I believe it was my 2012 Mustang that I had.
Oh, really?
I believe so.
Candy, answer that question.
Oh, we got it right. Where's she at? I think it was my 2012. I think so. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've gone through a few cars since we met, so it's
motorcycles and cars for me too, for my old lady. Yeah.
Yeah. So
you want to hear about my first date with my wife?
Sure.
So I just got to Puerto Rico, and there was like a cheap dating, a free dating site called Plenty of Fish, and I saw her profile, and I was like, "Hey, when are you going to take me out for a drink?" And then like she was like kind of flustered, and of course, my southern redneck, good looking charm is what attracted her.
Yeah.
My immaturities kept her. So she shows up in her little beater. She had this 2007 Nissan Sentra that she drove around with her island beater, and she had that Range Rover. And so I just got my BMW. I had a 328 Xi that I just got from the port. So she comes up to me. She meets me at the Post Hotel there on Fort Buchanan. She goes, I said, well, what car do you want to take? She goes, we'll take your BMW. I said, okay, cool. She goes, I just want you to know, I have a Range Rover too. And I'm like, okay. Like, and so mine was my 328 was an auto. And so her Sentra was a manual. And so on our second date, we drove that Sentra. And she looked at me when I said, I'll drive. She goes, can you drive a manual? I said, hold my beer. Look at this shit. And I drove the piss out of that Sentra. Boy, I was slamming through the gears, making her scream and yell. So when people go, why did your wife marry you? Give you a hint. I'm a lot of fun.
Hell yeah.
That's why I asked you what was your first car you drove on your first date with your wife, because I see the love and devotion that you pour into that Nova for your old lady, and I wish I had half the coolness that you have, because that's some Rico Suave shit right there. I'll tell you what.
Well, I mean, we all have our own ways of expressing ourselves, right? So when she said she wanted a fast and loud Nova, I was like, I can do that. Hey, I'm qualified. I can do that. I can do it. So It took me a while, but everything that I did with that car was for her. It's not my car. It's not mine. You know what I mean? So yeah. So hopefully it means a lot to her. It's a lot of work, actual blood, sweat, and tears. That's a fact went into that car. A lot of cussing too.
Yeah. And I know, because I've talked to you and Candy both. Like, you both had those times where you're like, your wife's helping you in the garage. You're like, give me that. Do this. Do that.
Yeah, she told me she's gonna quit helping me because I wouldn't stop yelling.
My wife's been saying that same game for almost 9 years, and she'll still go out in the garage and hand me a wrench.
There you go.
It's like,
Hell yeah.
Get across there going, it's the wrong GD1, woman.
But yeah, man, that's I think I've told you, but I think I may have told one or two other people, but that car has my soul. That's what went into it. So
hell yeah, that's a cool story for a car, man.
I think so.
That's the coolest mother effing Nova there ever will be and there ever was.
I think so. I'm glad you think the same way.
No, I mean, like I said, man, because I love my old lady, man. Somebody made fun of me one time because I had 2 other divorces, and I took it as I was kind of like, I don't know why he flexed on me that way with that comment, but like, I've tried to not replicate a destructive marriage like was my first 2 marriages, right? They're both to white girls, by the way, and I'll never marry another white girl again. And I don't even get aroused by a white girl. You know what I mean? That's how much they took from me and cost me. But my wife is the best thing that ever happened to me. And so when I see my other brothers out there in the audience, and I watch y'all's channels, and I see like you building that labor of love, you know what I mean? Like, and I've told you that, I'm like, that's the coolest fucking story ever, man. You know what I mean? Because it's about love and honoring one's commitment to each other. And the car, the Nova, is just a representation of it.
Yep.
To see Candace's face when she drives the fucking car, like I said, if you don't recognize that's a car of love, and it's not just a car, you know what I mean? Like, my Mustang is not just a car; it has significant meaning to me. But the Nova, like I said, has meaning, and I don't understand how anybody could ever look at that car and say it's just a car. I don't.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, you nailed it. That's what that car represents. That's what it's all about. So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I spent 2 years waiting to see that look on her face. It took 2 years to see it.
Well,
But yeah,
it only took you 5 seconds to see the other look on her face, right?
which one?
Well, they all took 5 seconds. You know what I mean? Like me, I think like when I have sex, it's just as fast as my cars or my bikes. Sometimes even faster. But I will tell you this: no matter how fast it is, I will always look at my wife and say, "You want to race again?" Like I will always. I will line back up at the starting line, and I will rip through that pro tree, and I'll haul ass right down to the quarter 20. 13:20.
So you're DTR. You're down to race, right?
Oh, yeah. And I'm talking all night long too. Even if I have to do 6, 7 laps, it's a marathon, not a sprint, baby.
Yeah, we might be able to be delving a little too deep into Jack right now. So
You said to be truthful. That like great. Look,
no, I'll just mess with you, man.
And I'm a big man child. Like there's 3 things in life that if I could do all the time, I would do it. Sex is one. Like that's my number one thing. Like if I could have sex without breeding, that's my favorite thing in life to do. Right. But go fast and just experience life.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm a big proponent of smoking weed on the back porch. Like to me, those are 3 constants I've got to have in my life, and a stiff drink. I see Salty's statement: DV sex might be fast, but I bet you don't miss any gears during it. Well, sometimes I've had the baby woo woo. You know what I mean? So I don't know if I missed the gear or she missed the gear, but sometimes it didn't always work out the way we wanted it to. You know what I mean? Yeah. But now my wife's gonna, kick my ass. But I love my wife. She is my best friend.
Oh, yeah.
Just don't red light. Yeah, that's true. Don't want a red light. That's true, Mike. That's very true. I tell my wife that I may not be as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was. Abso-freaking-lutely, man.
Yeah.
Like we're all old men, right? I'm gonna tell people like this. I'll be 40 this year. When I'm an old man and I'm sitting in my rocking chair smoking that last joint and having that last Jack and Coke or vodka and 7-Up, I want her to look back at my life and say, you know what? I had a lot of effing fun.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to sit back and go, oh, my God, I wish I had done this. I wish I had done that. And no, F all that. I want to have fun. And when I die and y'all put me in the freaking ground, I want you to say, that mother effer was hilarious. That mother effer, he could come around, be in a shitty mood, have a smoke and a drink, and he was back to normal again. You know what I mean? Yep. But what I really want when I die is I want people to celebrate all of my accomplishments, but none of my failures, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, man, we've been on for 1 hour and 8 minutes, and I got stuff to do.
Me too, man.
If you want me to be honest, I got shit to do, man.
Hell yeah, man. That's what I'm talking. We said like an hour, and that was it anyway. So
yeah. So, but I just want to say thank you, man, for coming on, and thank you for doing what you do, man. I mean, you've motivated me. This live stream was motivated by you. So, I wanted to help get you out there, and my little channel, see if we can, make something happen. And, between the two of us, hopefully we can make some big things happen. I
would love to do more collaborations with everybody, in our circle, for sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this Chinese virus.
Oh, yeah, right.
Let's see. Everyone have an awesome night. Don't forget to smash the thumbs up. No matter how many times you tell people to smash the thumbs up, they'll never do it. So I always tell people like this: don't smash it. Don't smash it. Don't subscribe. Don't do this. But yeah. But thank you for allowing me to come on your platform and talk more about why I do what I do. And I don't think I'm very interesting of a person, but I appreciate people like you. Yeah.
I think it was necessary. The time had come for I think for you to be able to just put everything out there, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah, we're gonna end it here, man. Thank you again, and everybody in the chat, man. Golly, the super chats, dude, that's awesome. I don't know how much we raised, but it was a lot. So that is awesome. I really appreciate that, and that is going to 22 Kill. When that money comes in, I'll be getting with Jack, and we'll be making that donation. So
yeah, and
man, we had quite a few people in here for a little while, and that's awesome, man. We if anything, we raised awareness and we raised some money, so that's really cool.
And that's what it's all about, man. Like at the end of the day, I'm very humbled by each and every one of your views and your messages, and we just wanted to use this platform tonight to say, look, if I didn't answer it in the way that you really wanted or anything like that, just understand that I'm trying the best I can. And
Yep.
I don't mean no disrespect. I am who I am, and I'm unapologetic. And I just appreciate every one of y'all. Y'all motivate me to keep making content. And hopefully, with some of the shift in my channel, because I'm no Pony 1992, I'm no Speed Addict, I'm no Stupid Pat's Truck, Salty State. I'm none of you guys, man. But I'm just DV.
But we're all just trying to make our way. You know what I mean? So
we're all making it, and nobody give a shit if we weren't, because nobody gives a damn about anybody else anyway. But it is what it is. Remember the we were joking about the one-liners that night. I was drunk. I don't know if you guys.
The Jackisms.
The Jackisms. Yeah, for sure. Like that was I told my old lady when I got home from that trip, I said, man, I ain't had this fun since a birthday bash. What I mean by that, like a bandit birthday bash, right? Used to go there for the stuff and travel all around where they have them throughout the United States. I had such a blast, man. And then when I came back from that trip with the guys, because really I screwed myself, because I said, look, well, if they cancel Mustang Week, I'll fly out there, right? Like I put my foot in my mouth, and I did that. And so at the in-state end of the day, when I flew out there and I came back home, I told my lady, like, I had a fucking blast. No hookers, no blow, but I still had a freaking blast.
Man. It was crazy. Like, when I took it to the airport and I got home, I finished a video that I was making. I was like, dude, this sucks. we had so much fun, and it's like, I gotta go back to work and all this normal shit, and I was like, we had too much fun. I don't want to do this no more.
I'm still waiting for my hat from your. Remember, you said you were gonna get me a military veteran hat from your office.
Actually, it's funny you bring that up.
Oh, you finally got it?
Well, I couldn't get another one.
Okay, I got you. Fair enough.
But the other day, my boss, who's not my boss anymore, he's moved somewhere else in the plant, but he come up to me, he's like, you want another one of them hats? I said, you damn right I do. So yeah, I do have you one.
Okay.
Yeah, I hung it up here and it was underneath the hat, and I'm glad you said that, because now hopefully I'll remember.
In all fairness, I was supposed to come back out there, or we were supposed to meet at like RJ's event.
Yeah.
And because we had the PCS and the move, and I couldn't make it, and the car was, jacked up, so, yeah, thanks for everybody giving the super chats and giving, so genuine and everything else. It's really a beautiful thing to see people come together for one common thread. And I know there's a lot of channels out there on the interweb, and I really wish there was more channels like what I tried to do. But unfortunately, or fortunately, people got to put food in their pocket, and money in their wallets. And I understand that. I just wish there was more. I wish there was more people that would give to charities and different things to impact people's lives,
Definitely, yeah.
So.
Well, cool, man. Yeah, I know. I bet your Mustang Mike's waiting to go live. So.
All right, man. I'll let y'all later, man. Have a good
man. Appreciate it, DV. Thank you, everyone in the stream that will watch the replay and everything. Still, if you want to send in a donation to PayPal, write a note with it. You can put a note, say, hey, send us to DV, send us to 22 Kill, whatever you want to do. I will be glad to help move that money along. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, man, awesome stream, dude.
I had a good time. I had some moments where I almost broke down in tears talking about old Alvin, but I thank you from the bottom of my heart for not only your friendship, your mentorship, and always being genuine enough to use your platform to help my platform, brother.
Oh yeah, no doubt, definitely. So you want to send them out?
Yeah. So anyway, guys, if you enjoyed today's content, as always, hit that thumbs up button. It really does help the channel grow. Subscribe if you haven't, and if you have, ring your post notification bell so you know when the next video from Pony or me coming out is. And remember, the DV doesn't stand for Disabled Veteran. It stands for Determined Veteran. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch your ass down the road.
Right on, man.